And maybe for some parents, especially those who are first-time parents, it may sound a bit scary. You're gonna have some experiences, trust me. I feel nervous. I feel nervous already. I have not sat in front of this camera for such a long time. You know, being busy and all. Oh my god. This YouTube life is not easy. It looks glamorous and everything, but it's not easy. A lot of work goes into making even just one YouTube video, especially if you are trying to, you know, put forward valuable content, which is what your girl is always aiming to do. Yeah, so let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Michelle from HoneysimJA. If you're joining me for the very first time, welcome. I'm happy to have you. If you're not here for the very first time, wagwan man, thank you for your continued love and support. So as you guys can tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about what you can expect when your child is entering a Japanese public elementary school. So if you're interested in finding out what these things are, then definitely stay tuned, because guess what? I got you, fam. If your child is going to be starting school here in Japan in April, which is when the school year starts, then I assume that you would have already watched my other video, which was talking about preparing the materials for elementary school. However, if you have not seen that video as yet, then definitely click on the information card that I'm going to be putting somewhere on the screen. Go watch it and come back to this video. If you have watched that video and you have made all the necessary preparations, then congratulations, you are well on your way to elementary school. Yeah, this is not just a celebration or a happy moment for kids, it is also a celebration and a happy moment for parents. So definitely pat yourself on the shoulder for reaching this far, because guess what? You're gonna have some experiences, trust me. School cost. So if you're not aware, elementary school here in Japan, public elementary school that is free of cost. Entry fee, school fee, textbooks are free for public elementary school here in Japan. However, you will have to pay for a few things. So for example, lunch, provided that your school actually provides lunch. Generally, schools do provide the students with lunch. I currently pay about 4,200 per month for lunch. Other things apart from lunch that you can expect to pay for include teaching materials, school trips or outings, and PTA, Parent Teachers Association. Now, the cost for the Parent Teachers Association is decided by your school, of course. I currently pay about 500 yen per year for PTA. Now, how will you be expected to make these payments? Well, these payments that I just mentioned will be made via bank transfer. Your school may require you to open a bank account with a specific bank. So if you do not have an account with the bank that your school recommends, well, not recommends, but your school says you must use, then you will have to open a bank account. Like in my case, I had to open a new bank account with a bank that I did not have an account with before. And I currently only use that bank to make the payments for my son's school. So the cost will be taken from your account on a monthly basis. So make sure that you keep your account up to date if you only use it for school, as is the case for me. There are, however, some things that you will pay for in cash. So for example, your child has a school trip coming up and the school is asking you to pay a fee. You may have to send that money directly in cash to school. Certain teaching materials you will probably also be asked to pay for in cash. It all depends on your school, as is the case. And if you are not new to Japan, you know every situation is different. Every situation is different. So whenever you watch these videos, guys, always bear that in mind, that the information that I pass on to you is mostly from my experience, what I've heard from other foreigners here in Japan. But expect that every situation is going to be different. Now, in the event that you are not able to afford to pay for lunch and teaching materials and stuff like those, your city may offer school aid. This, however, is something that you will have to qualify for, and it's an actual process that you have to go through to apply and also qualify. Your income level will come under scrutiny, so if you have a high income level, then you definitely know that you will not be qualified. And each city has a lineup of the income bracket that you and your family will fall under. So be sure to check with your city to find out how you can get some assistance if you qualify. Entrance ceremony. Now, this is a ceremony that marks the beginning of the school year, especially for the first graders who will start school in April. This is not the first day of school, and as such, you should expect that your child will leave with you when the ceremony has ended. Now, with regards to attending the entrance ceremony, normally both parents are invited to attend the entrance ceremony, but given the current situation with the pandemic, I realize that many schools are only allowing one parent to attend the entrance ceremony. I've also seen cases where one parent is able to be in the auditorium or the gymnasium where the actual ceremony is being held, while the other parent is in maybe a classroom watching what is happening on video, which I think is a really, really cool way of, accommodating everybody. Thank you, Japan. Also expect to give a record of maybe 3 to 5 days of your temperature because of the whole pandemic. So you may have been given a paper where you're supposed to record your temperature for a few days before you actually attend the entrance ceremony. Now let's talk about attire. What should I wear to the entrance ceremony? Now, this attire that I'm wearing, I think is also a very nice, example. You guys can see I'm well put together. But this is a very nice example of what you can wear to the entrance ceremony, and usually this is a time when Japanese parents go all out in getting all dressed and putting on their fandangos and being festive. From what I've noticed, the mothers, they usually dress formally and they usually wear dark colors such as black, navy blue. I've also seen gray and a mixture of black and white. For me personally, such a celebration with full black, not really my style, because back home that type of dressing or that type of attire is usually used during sad ceremonies such as funerals. Mothers will also sometimes wear a corsage, a jewelry, just to look nice. And the dads usually wear a full suit, maybe either black, gray or navy blue, along with a pair of sneakers. As for the children, unless instructed otherwise, students usually wear their school uniform. They are well clad in their school uniform, looking smart and bright and intelligent. Outside of that, if your child is required to wear clothing that's not uniform, always try to go for something on the formal side, because this is a very big day for everyone and everybody wants to look their best. Now, what about after the entrance ceremony? So usually after the entrance ceremony has ended and everything has been done that needs to be done, it is very common for parents and their child entering elementary school to go to a photo studio and actually do a photo shoot.
れる。ガジ。いいね。金メダルみたい。
This can be quite expensive though, and prices may start from as low as 50,000 yen. I went ahead and did a photo shoot with my son after his entrance ceremony because I thought this was a very important milestone in his life and a very important day, and I wanted us to be able to have the memories, you know, for a very long time. Families also go out to restaurants as another form of celebration for their child entering elementary school. What basic knowledge is required for children entering Japanese elementary school? So here I have a list highlighting some of the things that your child should be able to do by the time they are ready to go to elementary school. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down the list here, and if I need to add any note, I will do so. So can your child do these things? Can your child go to the bathroom by themselves? Do they know how to use a Japanese style toilet? Next on the list, can your child read and write his or her name in hiragana? So when the students start elementary school, they first start learning how to read and write in hiragana. If your child attended a kindergarten before, they would have started learning how to write hiragana. Or maybe at home, you are already teaching your child how to write hiragana. However, if your child is not able to read or write in hiragana, don't worry about it. They will learn. It just will take time. Next, can your child change his or her clothes as well as put on his or her own shoes? Hi! Can your child reply hi when their name is called? So hi means yes in Japanese. It's a thing, trust me. Is your child able to say his or her own name in Japanese? So if your child has a foreign name, then your child will need to be able to say his or her name in Japanese. Is your child able to pay attention to traffic lights and traffic signs when using the road to go to school as well as to go home from school? Can your child feed him or herself using chopsticks, spoons, or fork? Is your child able to tell teachers or friends if they are feeling pain or if they have a problem? Can your child put away their own tools, their own shoes, their own umbrellas, their own everything by themselves? Your child should be able to count from 1 to 10 in Japanese. Your child will also be expected to know how to greet friends and teachers. When you see an adult, you say good morning, or you say konnichiwa, or you say konbanwa. Is your child able to listen to and follow instructions? Your child will be expected to learn about study methods and get used to school life before they use textbooks. Now, I know this is a very long list, and maybe for some parents, especially those who are first-time parents, it may sound a bit scary, but take my word, don't worry too much about it. It will take some time getting used to all of these things, but this is just to give you an idea of what, you know, the school is expecting when the child leaves the home environment and goes into the school environment. And one observation that I've made about children here in Japan, they are expected to be very independent at a very young age. So when I notice some of the things that the children here are able to do, I'm sometimes like, wow, what? How are you even able to do that by yourself? But trust me, children here are introduced to being independent from a very early stage. As time goes by, most children learn Japanese as they attend school and they make friends with Japanese children. Look at it as full immersion into the new language. That's how my son learned Japanese when he first came to Japan. And after being in Japan almost 3 years, he is basically fluent in Japanese. Elementary schools across Japan also offer support for children who are having difficulty with the Japanese language. Support in the sense that they will have either a volunteer come in, or someone hired by the school, or someone from the city hall who will come in and work with your child on a one-on-one basis, help them with their Japanese. Now at my son's school, such support is offered starting from grade 2, Ninense. So starting from grade 2, my son will be getting additional assistance with his Japanese learning. I want you guys to understand that the Japanese elementary school system, they do not refuse children simply because they do not know how to speak, read, or write Japanese. When the child of a foreigner goes to a Japanese school, they will basically get the same type of education as any normal Japanese child. Things not allowed in school. So of course, some of these things go without saying, but it doesn't hurt to be sure. So children should not bring money, snacks, toys, comic books, games to school. I was actually pretty surprised when I learned that the students are not allowed to snack during the school day at school. Back home, we had break time where the students would get about 30 minutes to break and actually eat and drink something. When I learned that that's not the case here in elementary school, as a parent, I was very worried about my child because I'm not used to that life. Do not put juice inside your child's water bottle. The only thing that's allowed in the water bottle, or that should be put in the water bottle, is green tea or water. In Japanese schools, they actually promote healthy diet. They promote healthy eating. Students are not to bring cell phones, smartphones, nor tablets to school, of course, unless it's the tablet that is provided by the school. And these tablets, as you guys may have learned, come with a good amount of restrictions. Next, do not use a bicycle to go to school nor to go home from school. So in elementary school, gotta use them legs. Students are not allowed to take breaks or go home from school without permission. Do not dye your child's hair. Do not allow them to wear jewelry or piercings to school. Children Association, also known as Kodomokai. What is Kodomokai? So Kodomokai is basically a system within your school community where the children are able to get together and be offered valuable experiences. It offers them the chance to communicate and experience things with youngsters and elders in their community and give them a variety of experiences outside of the family and school life. Of course, with the support of their parents. So it's very common for elementary school students as well as junior high school students to be a part of a Kodomokai. Now the word Kodomo means child and Kai means club or a society or a gathering. There is usually a membership fee of maybe say 2,000 yen per year, as well as there is also a insurance fee, if I remember correctly. Kodomokais are usually funded mainly by the local government within your city. They do, however, have fundraising events which the children usually spearhead. So they will participate in things such as local festivals where they may put up a stall and probably sell some things to make money for the activities that they will do together. One very popular fundraising activity is recycling. So collecting recyclable items such as newspaper, plastic bottles, magazines from households within their area. If you join a Kodomokai in your area, expect that you will be placed on a roster, so persons will have different tasks and different days and dates when they will be the person in charge of doing certain things. You can expect to maybe get a visit from a committee member of the Kodomokai organization. When my son was about to start elementary school, I actually had a visit from one of the committee members who informed me of the Kodomokai, told me what it was about, and actually asked if I wanted to join. So it's not a must that you join, but I would suggest that you join because it will also help your child in making friends, building relationships, and even you as the parent, you're able to build relationships with other parents. And we know sometimes it gets really lonely here in Japan. So whatever opportunity you have to connect with others, I would say make the best of it. Some of the activities that children will participate in include going to the movies, participating in local festivals by setting up their stalls, as I mentioned before, games, having lunch, having picnic, hanami, which is coming up pretty soon in April because Sakura season is right around the corner, or even going on little expeditions or little small trips via chartered bus. Another part of the Kodomokai that I think you guys should also be aware of, I'm not sure if this is for all Kodomokais, but in my area they also had it, and that's kind of what I want to call a neighborhood patrol. With this, parents from the different households, they will be designated days and times when they are expected to walk around the community and just, be on the lookout for anything strange or anyone strange, or if children are still on the road after a certain time. Now, the time, I believe, was about 7 p.m. in the evening, so persons would go around and walk. I, however, was exempted from this because I'm a single parent here in Japan, and I was not comfortable, still am not comfortable with leaving my child at home by himself for any amount of time. Morning patrol, also known as Ohapato or Ohayou patrol. So as you may be aware, children here in Japan, they walk to and from school. And usually they're not on the road walking by themselves. There are adults placed in designated areas within the school community that helps to make sure that the students are safe. So your school or the PTA committee will go about putting the groups together. They will make these groups based on your residency, based on your location. So the students in the morning when they're going to school, they will meet at a particular place that has been designated, and they will meet at that place at a certain time. So say for example, they're expected to meet there at 7:45. So all the children will gather at that spot. If you live in an apartment, it may be at the entrance of the apartment, it may be at a particular zebra crossing, it may be in front of someone's house. It all depends on the location. So with the morning patrol, the parents will be placed on a roster and they will be expected to go out on that particular day that they have been designated to help the children either cross the street, which I'm currently doing, or walk with the students from point A to point B. Alright, so the job has been done, and as you can tell from my clock, it's almost 8 in the morning. So I usually meet the students by 7:40 at a particular spot where I then walk with them for less than a 5 minutes walk, and then I help them to cross the street, and then that's it. So on the morning of your patrol, the parent before you will take a little bag to your house and they will leave it outside your door. This bag contains the timetable with all the parents. It also contains a little vest, a little traffic vest that you are expected to wear whenever you are doing morning patrol. You will also receive that sign that you will hold when the children are crossing. I kind of like the look. It's really nice. The patrols don't usually last very long, but it depends on the location. So if you're placed in an area where you have a lot of traffic, meaning many students are passing, many groups of students are passing that designated area, then it may take a little longer than other sections. So currently where I'm designated, I'm usually there for maybe up to about 15 minutes in the morning. After all the groups of children have passed, then we conclude. After you've concluded your duty of morning patrol, you will be expected to take that same bag to the person that will do morning patrol after you. Outside of the parents, you will also have older persons who are always at these designated areas or zebra crossings. They actually volunteer their time to come out in the mornings and help with the safety of our children. I want to send a big shout out to all those Obachans and all the Oji-sans, all the grandfathers and grandmothers who are out here helping us to keep our children safe. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Daily activities at school. Most elementary schools here in Japan start at 8:30 a.m. So the students will gather for morning assembly and they will do what they do. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but yeah, they'll do what they do. So some of the subjects that students study here in Japan at the elementary school level include Japanese, mathematics, science, social studies, music, composition, calligraphy, writing Japanese characters with a pencil or brush, foreign language activities, life studies, physical education, arts and crafts, home economics, moral education, school life, and reading. I suggest that you guys go ahead and take a screenshot of this picture that I have up now. It will really help you when your child gets their timetable to pack his or her bag. Also, some of these subjects are not done in first grade, such as social studies and home economics. Those are done at a later time. I've also heard that English studying starts from the 3rd grade. I'm not sure if that's the same across the board, but I heard that my son would start studying English after he has entered the 3rd grade. Swimming lessons are also a part of the elementary school curriculum, so it is not a choice. In most elementary schools, children usually have swimming lessons during the summer. The number of class hours varies depending on the day of the week and the grade. One class period is usually about 45 minutes in elementary school, and the class teacher teaches most of the regular subjects. Students are also placed on duty. So for maybe once in a month, your child will be placed on duty where they'll be expected to be the person responsible for closing the windows, the person responsible for turning on the lights, the person responsible for instructing the students to do the morning and afternoon greeting or the greeting before the start of the class, where they will stand, bow, and say good morning, good afternoon.